Inexorably, Monday Okpebholo has been moving towards his final legal affirmation as governor of Edo State. With Wednesday's election tribunal ruling dismissing the PDP's case seeking to disqualify the APC governor, Mr. Okpebholo's supporters say he's now galloping towards that final seminal moment of undisputed victory. But as one political pundit put it, one particular legal nightmare may be over at the tribunal level, but there's still the terrifying prospect of both the appeal court and the Supreme Court before the case is resolved. And that means that Mr. Okpebholo will be forced to continue to defend his INEC-declared victory for some time to come, even though he's already in the governor's lodge. How badly this inescapable fact will affect his governorship is anyone's guess. Well, for more on the verdict of the Edo State Election Petitions Tribunal, I'm joined now on the line from Benin by the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Dennis Idahosa. Mr. Idahosa, thank you very much indeed for taking the time to talk to us. What is your reaction to the tribunal's verdict? I expect you and your supporters are suffused with the thrill of victory.
Good evening to you and to Nigerians. It's such a great honor and privilege to be here. The victory yesterday wasn't a surprise to us because Edo citizens voted for us in September last year, and it was clear, and they voted loud and clear. And the victory yesterday was reaffirmed by the court of law. And we thank God for that. And you can come to Benin today and see the jubilation across the state, in the 3 senatorial districts in Edo State. So that is clear to us that the people are happy, and we are very grateful to God for what he has done.
Well, the PDP has, of course, rejected that verdict and has gone to appeal. I mean, how nervous does that make you? Because, I mean, clearly you're not out of the woods yet.
No, basically, I am not a rookie as regards to issues of tribunal. I ran an election before in 2019. I went through the woods. In 2023, into the reps, same thing. So I understand that there are still little of those people out there giving them false hope. But what we saw yesterday was a transparent verdict. It was free, fair, and credible. Even if they go all the way to Supreme Court, we are very certain that we are going to defeat them because Edo people give us mandate.
Well, I mean, just to look at the case a little more closely, I mean, they say the documents that they brought to court were certified by INEC, that they were accepted into evidence by the courts, but the tribunal did not look at the documents because they said that it was not their duty to look at bags of documents and that the PDP did not put them forward in proper interpretive order as evidence. I mean, the PDP rejects that and suggests that it is the duty of the tribunal to go through the evidence. And this is part of the basis on which they're going on appeal. I mean, do you detect any inconsistencies with that as far as you can see?
No, I was in court yesterday throughout. The first case was struck out between my principal, Okpebholo, and the AA, and thereafter we went into a court party. It was also dismissed, and that of PDP, what they did was just dump document in the court, and they didn't go through the normal process. It's not the duty of the court to look at those documents. They were supposed to speak to those documents. So they know that what they did was wrong. I just, at this time, I would appeal to the opposition. My boss yesterday, distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo, has already extended hand of fellowship for them to come and let's build a deal together instead of wasting resources in the court of law. Yes, I did say yesterday that the judiciary is a hope of a common man. We've done that yesterday, and God gave us victory through those justices. And I took my time to listen to the verdict, the judgment. And those judges, this is one of the best case I've seen, or best judgment, because it took him almost 5 hours to read the judgment to us. And there was no objection there, because everything was clear in line with the law and the constitution of our great country. So if the PDP are still thinking of going to appellate court, that's fine. We can't stop them. But the most important thing is we are very sure we won the election, and the people spoke, and the people are ready to go with us and support us to ensure that there's peace and stability, and victory will come even if they decide to go to Supreme Court. We are very sure we won the election, and the court has reaffirmed it yesterday. So we wish them well, whatever decision they decide to take. We are ready.
Well, without belaboring the point too much, I mean, they had 3 major issues before the tribunal. They said there had been overvoting in dozens of polling units, I think about 133. They also said there'd been incomplete collation of figures in several polling units. They also submitted evidence before the tribunal showing that in about 400 polling units, INEC failed to abide by its own guidelines in Section 73 of the Electoral Act, which says that prior to the election at a polling unit, there must be a recording in the forms prescribed by INEC of the quantity, serial numbers, and other particulars of result sheets, ballot papers, and sort of other sensitive election materials. I mean, I've got the Electoral Act here with me, and I've read that section, and it says that very clearly. I mean, and if that is not done, the result in that polling unit, according to the Electoral Act, shall be declared invalid. They also drew attention to Section 51 of the Electoral Act, which says that where the number of votes cast at an election exceeds the number of accredited voters in that polling unit, that the conclusion would be that there is overvoting and that results at that polling unit must be cancelled. And the PDP says it submitted documentary evidence to prove that there was overvoting in contravention of the Electoral Act. And as a result, Monday Okpebholo did not have the highest number of accredited votes. So, I mean, a lot of people were shocked, including lawyers and ordinary people, that the tribunal kept talking about not bringing witnesses when they had provided certified true copy documents from INEC. INEC never denied those documents, which included Form EC-8As as well as Beavers, extracts, and all the rest of them. So, I mean, having submitted these documents, didn't it seem astonishing that the tribunal still insisted that they needed to bring along hundreds of witnesses because they were challenging the results of those polling units? I mean, why would the tribunal require witnesses when there's irrefutable documented evidence certified by INEC? Can you see why, to many Nigerians, a lot of people from Edo State, the tribunal's decision looks suspicious? I mean, how can documentary certified evidence not matter at a tribunal?
Thank you very much for raising these issues. But it might interest you to know, even in my local government, of Via Southwest local government area of Edo State, the PDP went ahead to petition that polling unit, unknowing to them that there was overvoting in that unit, and the unit was cancelled, and it was not added to the vote or the total vote that gave us victory. So at the court, they looked stupid at the end of the day when they noticed that that unit were cancelled. So there are a lot of propaganda going on right there. But what I saw yesterday at the court, it is clear I've told you before, this is one of the most transparent judgments I've seen in the history of this country. And I don't want to go too much into this, the judgment. In a few days from now, the record of the judgment will be out. You will look at it yourself and compare with the constitution of our country and to see if there's any contradiction. So far, everything is perfect. And PDP, we understand that maybe they have a lot of money that they stole. They want to waste in the judicial process. But for us, we want to use our money to better the lives of Edo people, to ensure security, and to ensure that there are good schools. The money they stole, that they were supposed to use to build schools, we are now faced with reality. We are working so hard to ensure that we have a conducive school for our children to learn. So if they want to go ahead and be wasting the resources, that's fine. But for us, we are going to look at the facts and the constitution of our great country, and whatever the judgment were yesterday was in line with the constitution of our country.
And of course, Governor, you're clearly a very, Deputy Governor, very intelligent man. And as you said, you've been in and out of the woods when it comes to politics and so on. You've been through the court system. You've seen how things work. There seems to be this sense that the tribunal members in particular, and the judiciary in general, are essentially analog in a digital age and are not comfortable with the new technology used by INEC, for example, to conduct elections. And as such, they didn't understand the PDP's case and a lot of other cases. Do you agree with that assessment? Because if judges are technology illiterate, it'll affect everybody negatively, including possibly the APC at a future date.
I totally disagree with that because I was in the court in most of the court processes, and the onus is on PDP to prove their case, not the judges. So whatever, like, bringing beavers to the court and dump it as, and you didn't speak to it. How do you expect them to know what is in there? So the PDP were supposed to get an expert to analyze and speak to those documents, but they didn't. So do you expect the judge to now bring, forensic scientists to come and look at those documents and work for PDP? I don't think that is true. What PDP did not have they were not having confidence in their matter, in their case. So I believe what they did was to, institute this case just to destroy the process in Edo. But we have gone ahead. We were not even looking at waiting for the judgment of the court. My principal, is everywhere, constructing different roads, building schools, revitalizing healthcare centers, coming up with program policies and projects. So he wasn't even waiting for the judgment. He went ahead to develop the lives of Edo people. So that is what we believe in. We have a vision, and the vision is to ensure that there is peace and stability in our state. There is security. There is job creation. There is good environment for our children to go to school, and we'll be able to produce food that we eat, and even to neighboring states. So we are doing a lot. We are not distracted by what PDP are doing. We just want to stay focused and ensure that we fulfill our campaign promises to Edo people. That's what we are doing.
One other question about that tribunal. The other side talked about political pressure on the judiciary in general and the tribunal in particular by the APC. Did you put them under any political pressure?
How is that possible? That is not possible. PDP, they are very good in propaganda. They say all sorts of things. They even said there was a leak in the judgment. There's nothing they've not said. So I told you just now that this is one of the most transparent judgments I've seen in the history of this country. We were in the court from 9 a.m. to almost 8 p.m. Who does that? So whatever they are saying, who is going to pressure them? In different level, we are faced with different things in this country. So who is interested in Edo? this matter is between my principal and Naswin Godalo, and he has defeated him. He should accept it. That the Edo people vote unanimously for what they wanted. And now we are seeing the dividends of democracy. And that's what the governance is all about. The man came, he said he wants to ensure practical governance. Go to Edo and see. We are working in all sectors. In the 3 senatorial districts that makes Edo, there are work going on simultaneously. This is the kind of governor we are praying for. And this road that he's constructing is not only plowed by APC family, PDP. They should even congratulate us for what we are doing. You know, the schools that we are building is not occupied by APC family alone or the children of APC chieftains. The PDP people also go to the school. So this is what governance is all about. We shouldn't be emotional about it. The man has won. Embrace it. And let's move ahead. Let's develop Edo together so that at the end of the day, the glory will also come to him. Instead of wasting resources here and there, my boss yesterday extended a hand of fellowship to him. And by now, and that's one thing I love about American democracy. Once there is declaration of any election, those that, you know, could not make it will usually call to congratulate. And the world will move on so that they'll be able to develop their country. All these distractions are not necessary. And one of the things that I'm really proud of is this electoral act that we're able to amend. And we are going to continuously work on it to ensure that all this ambiguity will be erased from it. And so that when there is declaration of election, and we should be able to move in one direction to develop. If it's a state level, let's go together, both opposition and whatever. We'll mobilize resources to make sure that the state is developed. If it's a federal level, whoever lost to the president should congratulate the president immediately and let's move on. So that's the way it should be.
Well, in all fairness, I mean, I understand the kind of ideal that you've painted there. I mean, Nigeria is nowhere near, in terms of the quality and the freeness and fairness of the elections, it's nowhere near the United States, which is why people go to court and why people dispute elections, because we know that the entire process is often quite dirty. But let's move away from that, and let me ask you, because you made the point of saying that you extended the hand of friendship, what's known generally as an olive branch, to the opposition. I wonder how much you and your principal are prepared to go in that extension of the olive branch. I mean, would you consider, for instance, some kind of, you know, power sharing arrangement where you bring members of the opposition into the government, or is that a bit far-fetched?
My principal have been doing that since the assumption of office. He is not looking at APC family alone. He's looking at competence. You know, someone that had the capacity to deliver on their job and responsibility. So, if today there is peace, we're able to resolve whatever that is making them upset, or even you think of going further to the appellate court. Why not? If you have a genuine intention of working with the governor in line with his campaign promises and vision for Edo people, yes, you will be invited to come on board. This is not about APC family. This is a government. From the day he won, he's no longer a governor of APC. He's now a governor of Edo State. Across all political parties, he can work with either one. So he's not a governor of APC, he's a governor of the people of Edo State. So if Aswe and his opposition party members want to come to ensure that there's peace and stability, and to kind of support with the vision and plans of the Mr. Governor, why not? We'll be willing to bring them on board, and we are even ensuring that those that are willing to work with us, even at this point, Mr. Governor that I know is a good man. He has a heart of gold and is a Christian. He will be willing to work with them. And I don't think any political party or party leaders will stop him from doing that. So we want people that have the intellectual capability to drive the process. So if they bring it on board. But it must be a genuine one. not someone that will come and act as internal sabotage.
Well, that's a fairly broad, fairly non-committal sort of promise to work with the opposition. I mean, but obviously I'm sure that when these things happen, obviously you're a politician, so you say these things. I guess you guys will have to, assuming they're interested in working with you, I mean, you'd have to sit down and sort it out. But let's talk about the vision, because you've emphasized that point a number of times now. You said that part of that vision is security. And we saw recently the brutal mob killings in Uromi in Edo State. I mean, how much does that rupture that vision of security in the state?
Think immediately that happened, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Edo State, Distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo, went to Uromi. In short, he was on the road for almost at least nothing less than 19 hours on that day. And thereafter, he went to Kano to meet with the family of the deceased, and to an extent, is a governor that has compassion, is a governor that is willing to make Nigeria a safe place and a united country. So for us, security is a priority for us, and that is why Mr. Governor purchased high-power equipment. He gave them to security agencies to ensure that crime is reduced to barest minimum in Edo State. The ugly incident that happened was, I think, there was illegal vigilante that put laws into their hand as a way of juggle justice. And that were condemned with strong words by all the people of Edo State. That is not who we are. That is not what we represent. And those people that were involved in those acts have been arrested, and they are in custody of the security agency, especially the police. So I think they are going to face the law. The governor had given an instruction that they will ensure that they are persecuted. So for us, we are doing everything to ensure that there is security, there is peace, and there is harmony among us as a people. So in line with what we promised Edo people, the governor of Edo State is doing everything he can to ensure that Edo is safe, for not just for our citizens, for even investors to come in.
And we've got about 2 minutes or less left in this very interesting conversation. Before we let you go, you've talked about security as being one of the cardinal elements within the governor's vision. What is the other big thing that you can point to that he has started to develop as part of that vision?
Okay. Education is also a major priority to us. Even a few days ago, Mr. President even commended the state government, especially the governor of Edo State. He is a workaholic governor, he's always on the road. So he's been able to transform the educational sector, and we are continuing to build on it. So that is one. Then the second one is agriculture. The governor, as we speak, is working aggressively in the 3 senatorial districts, especially in College of Education, Igworiaki. It is massive construction, excavating of woods for him to plant various crops in those farms. So for me, the governor, apart from education and agriculture, is also doing so much in area of health. As we speak, there is a massive construction going on in various local governments. They want to revitalize a number of PHC centers across the state. Our plan, our vision is that there will be one functional healthcare center in each ward, which is 192 wards that made Edo State. So the governor is doing so much. Is it job creation? So the governor have a vision, and all we need right now is to pray for him, work with him, encourage him to ensure that very soon Edo will be one of the best states in this country. I assure you of that.
Okay, if you say so. I want to thank you very much indeed. The Deputy Governor of Edo State is Dennis Idahosa, and he was talking to me on the line there from Benin. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.